Hi, and welcome back. Today I have my really good friend Meg Ellis with me again. She was talking with us earlier in the month about another part of our 6-part weight loss program. So today we're going to be talking about movement, also known as exercise, but I know that makes some of you kind of cringe.
We like to use the word movement. It's much more fun.
It is, and I invited Meg because not only is she a life coach with Phoenix 8 Consulting that you can see below, but she's also a fitness expert, so she's going to share a lot of her expertise with us, and she's been personally responsible for getting me in shape, so she can tell you about that too.
Yes, over 500 Soul Cycle classes. I don't know if you knew Dr. Susan was a Soul Cycle enthusiast.
One of my many addictions, but one of the healthier ones.
Yes.
So if you've been following our weight loss program at Complete Midlife Wellness Center, you can see the link below, or if you're just somebody who is trying to lose weight and following along with the program that we do, you might remember that I divided it into 6 parts. It could be 100 parts, but I like to keep things easy. So
nice and simple.
Yeah. So the 6 parts, just to review, are no doubt about it, nutrition, movement that we're going to talk about today. We also talk about mindset, and actually we could have put that first. We actually did record that one first because it's probably the most important.
Super important.
Super important. And then because this is a medically managed weight loss program, we also talk about medications, hormones, and accountability. But today we're really going to focus on movement, because if you join this program, we're encouraging you to commit to moving or exercising 5 times a week for 30 minutes. And to anyone who's listening, you may be starting from the couch and you've never done this before. So we were talking earlier, and really the ideal weight management program combines some type of cardiovascular exercise, and most of us know this, something that gets your heart rate up, that's purely burning calories, and then something that uses our muscles so that we can not only maintain but gain muscle, because as most of us know, muscle burns calories at rest.
Right.
So what happens when we go on these weight loss programs, often if we're not managed well, we're going to lose muscle, and then our basal metabolic rate's even lower than when we started, and that's why we gain weight back very quickly. So this program's going to allow us to lose weight and keep it off, because we're going to keep our muscles, or maybe even have more than we did when we started.
Yes,
so
gaining muscle. There's tons of different ways that you can either maintain or gain muscle. First, I just want to clarify that you are not going to bulk. That is a huge myth of people, especially females, don't want to bulk. And I'm letting you know everything that we're going to suggest for you today, you will not bulk. In order, especially for females, to bulk, you see the fitness pros and the bodybuilders, that is a very special regimen that they are on, and nothing that we suggest is going to lead you to that. You have to lift so heavy and so frequently and get your diet in this particular way to fuel that type of body build. So
you're not talking about that.
You're not going to bulk. But muscle is important. And another reason why, especially females, are nervous to gain muscle is because muscle does technically weigh more than fat. So when you gain muscle, the number on the scale might go up, right?
Yeah. And that's why it's really important to, in my opinion, do a body composition measurement, not just weigh yourself on the scale. In fact, I encourage patients during our 12-week program not to weigh themselves, because if you do gain muscle, your pants are going to fit looser, you're going to look slimmer, but the scale will show a different number. And most of us know, I know I have this, the number on that little piece of metal can determine my mood for the day, which is something that's conditioned into many of us, so I just try not to stand on it.
Right. Set yourself up for success and go with the way you feel, the way you look, and of course with the composition. There's other ways to track progress that don't involve a scale. So, but if you notice yourself, if you are somebody who is going to step on a scale, just be cognizant of that. It's going to be muscle. Now, there's plenty of different ways that you can gain muscle. There's plenty of different exercises that you can do. So now that we've kind of debunked the little myths around it, and actually here's another myth that I'll touch on, the last one. I have to go to the gym and lift a bunch of heavy weights to get muscle.
Most people don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, so I'm someone, like many of you, who I actually have never had a problem doing cardio. I actually like to run, I like to play tennis, I like to ride a bike, but I've never really liked lifting weights. And I found myself, as I was sort of getting closer to 50, having a decrease in muscle mass. And if you look at the natural history of women as we get older, you'll see women sort of getting fatter around the middle, getting skinnier arms. So muscle loss is something that just happens with age. So it's critical, especially as we're getting sort of 35 and older, that we add some strength training into our movement protocol. So if we hate lifting weights, like we do, what are some fun ways to do that?
Yeah, there's fun different ways. There's so many different fun ways. Same thing, like cardio. There's so many different ways, just like how cardio doesn't have to be an elliptical or a treadmill or running 5 miles. It can be fun things like a SoulCycle class or walking or jogging or a dance fitness class. There's equally fun options for strength training that are low impact too, for that they're going to help you build muscle. I know one thing that I like to do is Pilates, and I know Dr. Susan is also
big.
It's great. It's such low impact. There's so many different ways that you can do this. So Pilates, there's a couple different forms. The form that I like to do is called Legree. Now the difference is there's mat Pilates, there's reformer Pilates, and then the only thing that's different with Legree, there's a bunch of studios in Houston and nationwide. That it's just a different type of machine. It's still that reformer fitness, megaformer is what the machine is called. It's just a little bit, if you're ready for just a step up from Pilates. If Pilates is boring to you, then try Legree. I'm telling you, I swear by it. But if you are new to working out, there's plenty of Pilates options that are great for you. There's mat Pilates, which you can do at home.
It doesn't really require any equipment, a couple rubber bands, maybe a little rubber ball.
Yeah, little tiny things.
And these classes are usually 30 minutes. The one that I take is 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And during COVID, when it wasn't available, and this is a reformer Pilates class where you've got the machine, and if you haven't seen it, you can look it up online, but it's a machine with a lot of complicated pulleys that use springs for weight, and literally works out every muscle in your body, and you'll do that with the help of an instructor. So you can absolutely do that if you're 85 years old and have never done any exercise, or if you're an Ironman triathlete. It doesn't matter. They just put more weight on the springs.
Right. Pilates actually was initially designed for elderly people in the hospital, actually. So it's designed to be safe and capable for any body.
My class actually has a woman who's 80 in it, and another one who's 20, and I'm 54, and it's adjusted so you don't have to feel like being there for your first time is uncomfortable. It's just going to be adjusted for you. So that's a really great option.
Yes.
And then during COVID, I did it at home.
At home, yeah.
We couldn't go to the class with the machine, and so we did it at home on Zoom.
Mat Pilates, which
is on the floor with a rubber band, or maybe just with your own body weight.
Same thing, yes. It's just a little spring. So the way Pilates and Legree work, it's that time under tension. So if you think, about lifting weights at the gym, if you were to imagine a bicep curl, you're curling, you're contracting the muscle, and then you're extending. Now, because this is why Pilates is the biggest bang for your buck, right? Because they double the time under tension, right? Because of the pulley system with the springs. So imagine you're contracting, but now there's a spring holding you, so you're contracting down too. So 30 minutes, you will definitely get a great workout in 30 minutes if you're doing Pilates or Legree. And it's such low impact, and it's fun. And the nice thing about going to a class, or even some of these online programs, they'll have that community aspect. So it's nice to get to know some people, and maybe you meet somebody who, you go to the same time, same day, and they're your accountability partner. That's always a nice option for the class setting too.
Yeah, I can tell you, I had a lot of resistance to the idea of doing that, being someone who's only done cardio most of my life. But it's been really easy, and the 30 minutes is doable. So, I just challenge you, if you're now in your mind thinking, I don't have time to do something for 30 minutes, that really goes back to the mindset part that we were talking about.
Right.
We have time for anything that we make important. So if you have committed to change your body in this way that's very positive for your health, you can make time for 30 minutes, and you might actually enjoy it. So I've actually found that that's true.
Or you just sub out the time for something else. Maybe that's Netflix or something like that. Yeah. You have the time. You just have to find it. I'm going to invite you and challenge you to find those 30 minutes 5 times a day. Or 5 times a week.
Strength training, I have found, has not only been really fun, but it's actually helped with a lot of other things with my body. It actually helped with my posture.
Oh, yeah.
I used to have back pain at the end of the day because I would slowly slump forward as the day went on. But now as my core is stronger, that's gone away. I can carry a heavy box without having pain.
Yeah.
I don't get injured as often with my other activities.
Well, if you think about it, what is protecting the inside of your body, right? What's protecting your bones? What's protecting your organs? You know, you have many layers of your body, but muscle is the number one way to protect the insides of your body, right? So create that layer of muscle, you know, arms, legs, everything. That core strength is huge. And I'm like you, where I used to marathon train. I never did an Ironman, but I used to marathon train. I used to do outdoor bike rides. And it's funny, I was a cardio junkie, and you couldn't get me to do anything with weights or strength training. I wanted that endurance, you know, it
feels good. We get the endorphins from it.
Right, that runner's high. And I remember my hands and my fingers would get numb when I was on an outdoor bicycle. And then what happened is I did Pilates for a year, and I came back to doing these outdoor bike rides the next year, and my hands weren't getting numb. And I was wondering, like, what happened? And it's because I wasn't relying on my hands and putting that stress. I could actually support myself with your body, your core strength is going to be imperative. If you have a low back pain, which a lot of us do, you strengthen your core and the back pain will start to reside, right? You have to, the core strength is just huge. So Pilates, really great for core. There's a studio called Pure Barre, or any type of bar class. They're fun. They're fun. Just dancing around to music, but you get that small weight training.
Yeah. And we don't bulk up. But I have some muscles now, and you can kind of see them. I can wear a strapless dress, and I've got tone. I don't have saggy stuff under my arms anymore.
It's like it just tones everything up, right?
And then most importantly, in terms of this weight loss journey that we're on together, is that it keeps your basal metabolic rate high, because you're actually burning calories at rest, since muscle burns calories that fat doesn't. So twice a week, 30 minutes of some type of strength training program. And we've given you a couple of ideas. There's unlimited resources online.
There's tons.
If you live in Houston, I want to put a plug in for Avenue Fitness. It's Avenue without an E, Avenu. I'll put the link below. That's where I do my 30-minute class. And there's lots of other places if you don't live in Houston. Give it a try. It's fun, and it's necessary if you're going to do this weight loss journey and keep the weight off. So there are some things that combine the cardio and the weights.
Yeah, right. If you're a one-stop shop kind of person, there's plenty of boot camp classes. We'll talk about the in-class experience. There's any type of boot camp. There's Orange Theory Fitness.
Let's talk about Soul Cycle, because
Soul
I'm a Soul
Cycle
Cycle instructor.
I am.
There's other brands of spin class, but I would look for a spin class that advertises that it's a whole body workout.
Right.
The Soul Cycle brand uses weights.
Yeah, they incorporate the weights for upper body. Even in a spin class, you're not just spinning, quickly the whole time. You're using the resistance. So those heavier resistance, slower climbs, they actually build muscle.
Use your leg muscles. Yeah.
Really use your leg muscles.
Yeah, the brand Soul Cycle that we have here in Houston and other cities throughout the United States that we love. You're lifting some 3 to 5 pound weights, but you're doing it with a class with fun music.
It's fun. It makes it fun.
Yeah, but there's some choreography, which is totally doable, but it makes it more fun.
It is fun. Dancing on the
really
bike
uses your core too.
Right.
So when I do that class, I really feel like I've used every muscle. Plus, it's the cardio as well. So that
one-stop shop.
Usually be 45 minutes, and you've done both together.
Right.
Orange Theory is another way to do that. That's a brand that's available
there's a couple
here in Houston.
boot camp different places, and even at home, you can do Bodyweights classes where even just you don't even need any equipment, just lifting your body in a push-up type, burpee type movements. That's strength training, and you really don't need anything. So whether you want to work out at home doing one of those type boot camp classes or go to a studio, they'll incorporate a little bit of running, a little bit of cardio, or I think most of it's cardio. It's on a treadmill, but or rowers is another option I've seen there. But then they'll also have the weightlifting part where that does incorporate more streamlined weightlifting. But there's somebody there showing you what to do. There's a
Yeah,
trainer
you
watching
don't have to
you.
be scared of it.
No, someone who's there to correct your form. So if you're new to weightlifting and you don't really know what you're doing, in those types of environments, there's always someone there to show you and correct you to make sure you're safe.
Yeah, I think something really important is that a lot of you listening might just feel mortified by the idea of going to a class. You might not be comfortable with the way your body looks, or you might have an idea that you're the only one who's doing it for the first time. But you really just got to get that out of your mind. Everybody has gone for the first time at some point in their lives.
Yeah.
And I can promise you that these type of classes like Soul Cycle, for example, there's so much love and compassion for the new rider who comes in, who's maybe a little bit overweight and not so coordinated. And we actually...
It's welcome. You're welcome to be there. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's how it is in a lot of these places. I know even... I mean, we all have our wheelhouse of what we're good at, what we like, and trying new things. You might find things that, hey, you maybe don't like, but don't let that deter you from still going out and finding something else, right?
Yeah.
I remember the first time I took a Zumba class. It wasn't pretty, but it was fun.
The first time I went, it wasn't pretty, but
it's fun.
You have to start somewhere.
Yeah, you have to start somewhere. The more you go back, the easier it'll be.
Yeah, and this whole journey of changing our body is going back to the mindset talk that we had. If you look back a couple of episodes, I mean, it really is about changing your mind, and you can do this, and it's not hard. I mean, 30 minutes 5 times a week is a lot less than I would guess that you watch television or spend time on social media or do a lot of other things that are less healthy for your body. So you can do it. And so Meg, being an expert in fitness, obviously has her body looking fabulous, and it's it's a journey. I mean, once we get there, we're able to maintain it because we've got an increase in muscle mass that we didn't have before. And so in the next episodes, we're going to be talking about how nutrition supports our muscle mass, because protein's obviously critical, and hormones that support our muscle mass as well, especially as we're approaching menopause. But to finish up today, also being a mindset coach, what do you think some of the pitfalls are that people get into when they're starting an exercise program, and how can we get past that initial resistance to just get it done? Because we're committing to 5 times a week of 30 minutes.
It's a commitment, right? You've signed up for this, you've invested yourself into this, and just really sticking with that, right? Creating that vision of who you see and who you want yourself to be is really a huge motivator. But if I could really sum it up into one thought, it's the responsibility, right? You're taking responsibility for your thoughts. And I'm gonna challenge you with this. I want to ask you, and this is where people kind of fall off the wagon, and I'll say this: you will find what you look for. So if you look for an excuse and a reason not to work out that day, you will find it.
There's always one.
There's always one. But if you look for that way that you are going to get your 30 minutes of exercise in, you will find it. No matter what, you will find a way. So just be very careful of what you are looking for. You always find what you look for. I promise it.
That's really great advice. And that is really true.
It's so true.
I can also tell you, if you follow this program, if you run out of all other resources, you'll actually feel good sleeping 30 minutes less, believe it or not.
Yes.
So there's really no excuse that's going to hold up
especially
here.
with the proper nutrition and the fuel, when you fuel your body and you're treating your body the way, if you're new to this, the adjustment is going to be, it'll be different. It's not bad, it's just different. But I'm going to encourage you and invite you to stick with it, right? Because you will start to feel like you have never felt before, and it will feel good. And it feels good to feel good.
That does feel good. You will feel good.
You will.
So we are committing to 5 days a week, 30 minutes or more. 2 of those are strength training at least, and then 3 that are cardio. We're not going to go into that very much because we know what that is. Something that gets your heart rate up, fast walking, whatever you want to do, walking on a treadmill if you like that. You can do it watching TV. You can do a million things to get your heart rate up for 30 minutes. Your dog will be so happy if you take the dog for a walk.
Walking the dog, that counts. It's exercise movement for both of you.
Also, don't forget, as part of the movement segment of our weight loss program, you can do the True Sculpt Flex that I'm doing right now. You can put these electrodes on your abs, on your glutes, on your thighs or hamstrings. 45-minute workout. You can do 2 body parts at a time. As part of the movement program, we're offering unlimited use. That's up to twice a week for 12 weeks. So you could get up to 24 treatments for $1,500, which is what we usually sell a package of 6 for. And it really works. You can see my abs contracting. It's a tough workout, but it really works. It's great for people who don't have much time or don't like lifting weights. So think about that as part of your movement commitment. Well, thank you so much for being with us.
Oh my gosh,
here
of course.
again.
Thank you for having me always.
Meg is our resident expert in all things to do with changing habits. So later we'll be talking about the other aspects of the weight loss program. But I think probably the 2 most important are mindset that we've talked about already.
Mindset, everything.
And then one of the most difficult is movement for many people. So thanks for sharing that with us.
Of
And
course.
if you want to connect with Meg directly, you can find her at Phoenix 8 Consulting below, or you can find her here at SoulCycle in River Oaks.
Yes, I would
in
love
Houston.
to work with you, whether at SoulCycle or with Phoenix 8. So good luck to everybody.
All right, we can do this, guys. So I'll be rooting you all on, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week.